And why is that? Especially as an entrepreneur, you'll literally have to tell hundreds, if not thousands of people about your idea. All right, happy Sunday, COMM5030. My name's Tash. I'm from the UNSW Founders team, and I'm going to be chatting to you guys on Monday night about the startup environment in Australia, a little bit on investing, and also, most importantly, about this concept called the Gaddie Pitch. So you've all probably heard of the term an elevator pitch before, right? And it's called an elevator pitch because basically the concept is, in order to get your message across in the time it would take for an elevator to reach the next floor. So let's imagine you're in an office building, you've just jumped in the elevator and there's like a really important person, someone who's a maybe decision maker, potential client, you may be your new boss if you want them to be. And so in the time it takes you to get to the next floor before they get out and out of your company, how do you tell them about what you do or what your company does? So we're talking around 30 seconds here. It's really, really important that you have an elevator pitch which is succinct and memorable. And why is that? Especially as an entrepreneur, you'll literally have to tell hundreds, if not thousands of people about your idea. So on Monday, we're going to be talking about investments, right? So let's use the example of a founder raising capital. Really with raising capital, it's both a combination of targeting the right type of investors, but then it's also just a numbers game. It's about meeting with as many investors as possible and telling them about your idea and seeing if it clicks with them. For some startups, they'll be rejected hundreds of times before they get that investment. So you're better off having a really efficient, clear, quick way to explain your idea and to gauge if you're the right fit for that investor, rather than doing, hundreds of hour-long coffee meetings and wasting both your time and the time of the investor. And probably on a more relatable level, perhaps you're just at a networking event and someone simply turns to you and says, so what do you do? And you kind of like fumble around with an answer and you've lost the interest of both the questioner and everybody around you. So on Monday, we're going to be working on this type of elevator pitch called the Gaddie Pitch. So the Gaddie Pitch is actually named after an Australian guy called Anthony Gaddie, and he's the CEO and founder of a company called Green Ant Marketing. So he developed this as a way for companies to get more leads by being able to simply and succinctly articulate their business. So it kind of have a really simple formula. It is, you know how. Then you explain the problem that you're trying to solve. Well, what we do is explain how you help solve that problem. And then, in fact, you give an example of how your company is solving that problem. So I'll give you an example of how I would describe UNSW Founders, what we do at the university. All right. So you know how starting your own startup or company can be a really hard and daunting task. Well, what we do is provide UNSW students, staff, and alumni with access to startup education, mentors, and support to help their business ideas thrive. In fact, last year, we supported almost 500 startups during their entrepreneurial journeys. So I'm going to give you another example, which I found online, of a young founder. I think this is a really good Gaddie pitch. So let's watch it, shall we?
So you know how it's almost physically impossible to eat this much fruit and vegetables every day so that your body gets the nutrients it requires? Well, what we do is we make it affordable and convenient for you by taking about 24 different fruit and vegetables. They're organic and they're vine ripened, and we've dehydrated them into a capsule, and we've kept all the raw living enzymes intact so that your body absorbs all the nutrients directly into your bloodstream. In fact, the research and the science behind Juice Plus is so strong that it's the only therapeutic grade 100% whole food product on the market. And health professionals all over the world are using Juice Plus to assist with their patients' recovery, patients who have got autoimmune disease and even cancer. So it's never.
I think at the end it gets a little long here. She'd probably want to cut it off about there, but the concept is brilliant. So that's a really good example, hey? So let's quickly go through the formula for a Gaddie Pitch again. Remember, it's you know how, explain the problem you're trying to solve. Well, what we do is explain how you're trying to solve that problem, and then in fact, and give an example of how your company is solving that problem. I think it's really cool to try and incorporate statistics or some facts in these. You notice how Kendall, in her pitch, she used some facts, some statistics. I think that's really powerful as well. But you also want to make it relatable and a bit of a story. So it's really good to open with the you know how, with a very kind of like visual explanation. Like what Kendall did in her one was brilliant. You know how it's almost impossible to eat this many vegetables. Like that's a great way because that's very relatable. And then she went into some harder science with what we do is scientific stuff. In fact, we help this many people and we solve a very serious problem. It was a very good quality. I think that's a great example. So again, I want you guys to think about how you would use this formula to describe the companies that you're helping at the moment with your COMM5030 projects, okay? Good luck, and I'll speak to you on Monday. Bye.